What if we told you that one of the world's most fascinating histories has been unfolding quietly among the mountains of Central Asia? This is the story of Kyrgyzstan, a land shaped by nomads, carved by empires, and reborn as a modern nation. Let's explore how this country went from horseback warriors to independence in just 7 minutes. Kyrgyzstan sits at the heart of Central Asia, surrounded by Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and China. Its mountainous terrain, especially the Tian Shan Range, has long made it both isolated and strategically significant, and this geography has deeply influenced its history. The story begins with the early nomadic tribes who lived in the region as far back as 201 BC, according to Chinese historical records. The ancestors of today's Kyrgyz were part of a broad mix of Turkic-speaking peoples who migrated across the Central Asian steppe. They were skilled horsemen, expert herders, and deeply tied to the land. Moving with the seasons, living in yurts, and maintaining rich oral traditions. By the 9th century, the Kyrgyz were powerful enough to leave a mark on history. They defeated the Uyghur Khaganate in modern-day Mongolia and established what some historians call the first Kyrgyz state. This early Kyrgyz empire didn't last long, but it showed how far their influence could reach. Over the next several centuries, Kyrgyz lands were swept up in the rise and fall of powerful empires. They came under the influence of the Khanates, one of the first major Muslim dynasties in Central Asia, then later the Mongol Empire under Genghis Khan in the 13th century. During this period, many Kyrgyz tribes retreated deeper into the mountains, maintaining a degree of independence even as the world around them changed dramatically. In the 18th and 19th centuries, larger regional powers began to assert control over Central Asia. The Kyrgyz were caught between the expanding Qing dynasty of China in the east and the growing influence of the Kokand Khanate, based in present-day Uzbekistan. But the real turning point came in the mid-1800s, when the Russian Empire began its conquest of Central Asia. By the late 19th century, most of what is now Kyrgyzstan had been absorbed into the Russian Empire. This brought major changes: new infrastructure, new cities, and a new administrative order. It also introduced Slavic settlers to the region, changing the demographic makeup of the land. While many Kyrgyz resisted colonization, others adapted to the new system, becoming part of Russia's vast empire. Then came the Bolshevik Revolution of 1917. After years of turmoil and civil war, the Soviet Union officially formed in 1922, and Kyrgyz lands became part of it. At first, the Kyrgyz were placed in an autonomous region. But in 1936, the area was elevated to full republic status as the Kyrgyz Soviet Socialist Republic. Under Soviet rule, the country was transformed. The Soviets built factories, schools, and roads. They promoted literacy and replaced tribal structures with centralized control. But they also suppressed Kyrgyz culture, banned religious practices, and forcibly collectivized agriculture. Despite these challenges, many people gained access to healthcare, education, and modern industry for the first time. For decades, Kyrgyzstan remained a quiet corner of the USSR. But everything changed in the late 1980s as the Soviet Union began to unravel. Amid growing calls for reform, national identity movements began to re-emerge across Central Asia. In 1991, as the USSR collapsed, Kyrgyzstan declared independence, becoming a sovereign nation for the first time in modern history. The early years of independence were tough. Kyrgyzstan faced economic hardship, political instability, and ethnic tensions. But it also built the foundations of a democracy, with relatively free media and civil society compared to many of its neighbors. In the 2000s, the country became known for its color revolutions. Peaceful uprisings in 2005 and 2010 that overthrew presidents accused of corruption. These events reflected both frustration with leadership and a strong desire among many Kyrgyz citizens for transparency and reform. Today, Kyrgyzstan continues to navigate the challenges of being a young democracy in a complex region. Its economy is still developing, but tourism is rising, fueled by the country's natural beauty and welcoming culture. Its people remain proud of their nomadic roots while also embracing modern life. And importantly, Kyrgyzstan has maintained a distinct national identity, one that blends Turkic heritage, Soviet legacy, and deep connections to the mountains that have shaped its past and present. So next time you hear about this small Central Asian nation, remember, Kyrgyzstan's history isn't just about conquests and empires. It's about resilience, reinvention, and a people who've carved out a place of their own in the heart of the Silk Road. Thanks for watching. Have you ever been to Kyrgyzstan?